Good morning, Booktube, YouTube. This is Johnny. It's been 4 or 5 days since I've made a video, and my wife just left to go to women's Bible study, so it should be gone. Yeah, I thought about making a video tomorrow because my wife leaves tomorrow for Denver for 5 days to visit our daughter Beth and her family, but I thought, hey, since I'm waking up to another day here in spiritual Babylon, it is 9:45 in the morning. It is October the 15th. We're the middle of the month. It is 71 degrees outside. It's wet. It's gray. It's ugly. Typical late autumn weather. Yeah, November, when November comes, we start having snow the end of the month. So yesterday it was really nice. Yesterday it was 71 degrees and I mowed the backyard and trimmed some trees, but those days are coming to an end. So yeah, I thought I'd do a video, just kind of what I've been reading. As far as my diary, I'm on page 835 for the year 2025. Yeah, we're in the 10th month. We got 2 more months and then we're into 2026. So in the mornings, I got out to read. I showed you this book. I just got it a week ago. Christology, Ancient and Modern Explorations in Constructive Dogmatics, edited by Oliver D. Crisp and Fred Sanders. These are essays by different theologians, I assume. And I was reading the one by Oliver D. Crisp. I was reading this one this morning, and I'm just going to show you what I've been reading since my last video. I'm always saying this, but I'm kind of out of it these days. I'm kind of very depressed about what's going on in our country and what's going on in the world. It's just really gotten to me. But I still read, write in my diary, go through my day. I'm still reading In Your Light We Are, In Your Light We See Light, a Reformed Theology of Divine Illumination by Paul C. Uyen. And this is in the series Studies in Historical Systematic Theology. Yeah, I've been reading this and still reading the Puritan Thomas Goodwin on the Christ the Mediator. Still reading that. In volume 5, the Works of Thomas Goodwin. There's 12 volumes in this. And I'm still reading Van Mastricht, Practical Theology, Application of Redemption in the Church, volume 5, by Petrus Van Mastricht, translated by Todd M. Reisner. And I've been reading on, I started reading the other day the chapter 6, the justification of those to be redeemed. And he takes as his text Romans chapter 3, 22 to 27. But the righteousness of God through faith in Jesus Christ do all unto upon all those who believe. For there is no distinction, being justified freely by his grace through redemption which is in Christ Jesus, whom God set forth as a propitiation through faith in his blood, for the manifestation of his righteousness, forgiveness of former sins. So these are what I've been reading in the mornings. Sometimes I can only read for an hour, 2 hours, because somebody commented how many pages you read a day. how long do you read? A book like this, I mentioned I probably will read in the mornings, maybe 3 or 4 pages, because it's very contemplative. This is very laborious. Maybe I might read three or 4 pages in an hour, maybe 2 hours. So these books I read very slowly, and because as I'm reading, I'm always writing in my diary, or I'm thinking about what I've read and looking it up in Scripture, looking up in the Bible. As far as Bibles, I was going to mention something. Yesterday, the mailman put on our porch a box, and the box was addressed to me, Johnny Keene, and it was from a fellow, hi Mike, in Illinois, who sent me 2 books, and I was really blessed. He said in the note, there's a note that came with, he said in his note here, Dear Johnny, we have never met, but I've seen you on Booktube, YouTube, and I was downsizing my personal library. And so he's had these 2 books, and he sent them to me, and I was really blessed to receive these books. And the first book he sent me was by Leo Tolstoy, The Life of Jesus, the Gospel in Brief. So, and then he sent me an ESV study Bible. My wife has been using an ESV study Bible for many years, and I have a small, little, tiny one by my computer, but he sent me this one. So now I have my own copy of the ESV. We read the ESV study Bible at night, because it's my wife reads at night and she reads in the mornings. We've been going through at night through the prophecy of Ezekiel. So, and then the mornings, this morning before she left, we had devotions and we read through Jude, which is only 1 chapter. So yeah, he sent me this ESV study Bible, English Standard Version. So thank you, Mike, for those books, and I'm really thankful. And I will be keeping the ESV study Bible, my Bible here. I keep on I keep these books on the table here. As you all know, I can't spell, so I have a Webster New World Pocket Dictionary I always keep by me. I always keep a book of Psalms. And this is the Bible. This Bible, I told you, is a new King James that was gifted to us, to our family, when we left Covenant PCA in Houston, Texas, almost 35 years ago, maybe 36 years ago. So it's all falling apart, so I put packing tape on it. And this is the one that I've been reading for years. I do like the King James, which I have on my study desk, and over there by the computer I have King James. But I keep and then we also read, after we read the Bible in the morning, we read the Valley of Vision collection of Puritan prayers and devotions. So now when we read in the mornings, I'll be using the ESV study Bible. I'll look at throughout the day to see the notes. So thank you for the study Bible, Mike, and thank you for the book by Leo Tolstoy. I read this when I was in high school, but it was so long ago, I can't remember. So what I've been reading, I did get a book. My wife had to go to the library. I think it was this weekend, she had a copy of something off on their copy machine at the library, and I saw a book at the Book Nook, which is a library used bookstore, and I told her to pick it up. And it was this book, and what it is, it's the I'll show you it. It's this book, Table Talk, Original Essays by William Hazlitt, who lived, I think, in the early 19th century. He was a British essayist. And I had this book by him. I bought many years ago at a used bookstore in South Haven River. Well, I even have it in me still. The book nook. I had bought it from Black River Books in South Haven, Michigan. And what it is, it is selected essays by William Hazlitt. And this was published in 1948. This was published in 1908. Yeah, I like reading essays. I really like his essays. So I've been reading this since I got it. Like I mentioned, I read Christian books in the mornings, and then in the afternoons I read nonfiction, and then in the evenings I read literary fiction. So I've been reading these essays by William Hazlitt, and the next essay I plan to read is on the fear of death, written between 1821 and 1822 by Hazlitt. So that's my nonfiction. And for nonfiction, I mentioned this book in my recent videos, Remarkable Collection of Angels, A History of Sixth Gallery Reading by David S. Wills. I've read almost half of this, and I mentioned in my previous video, if you want to know what the Sixth Gallery Reading was in San Francisco back in about 1959, when Allen Ginsberg, the poet, stood up in a small little gallery and he read for the first time so that's right. Still reading that. As far as literary fiction, I mentioned I had finished reading A Handful of Dust by Evan Uyen, and I told you I wasn't really that impressed by it. Somebody left a comment, and so I don't plan to read him again. Maybe in the future. I'm not saying don't read him. It wasn't a terrible read. It's just I suppose I have so many novels to read and so many writers I want to read that I'm not right now planning to read another one by him. But I've been reading this one, The High Wind in Jamaica by Richard Hughes. This was first published in 1929. He wrote some other novels published by the New York Review of Classics. I'm really enjoying this. So I've been reading this as literary fiction in the evenings and before I go to bed. I do plan to buy his other novels published by the New York Review of Classics. Now, I did go to, one thing else I want to mention. I did a video a while back. Carol and I went, several weeks ago, we went to Grand Haven, which is north of us. At the Granville has a big public library, and they have in their basement a used bookstore called Cheap Stacks. And when we were there, Carol and I started talking to this fellow, and he looked at me and said, "Oh, you're Johnny Keene." I was wearing one of my Death to the World Eastern Orthodox t-shirts. I was wearing one of these, and he saw it, and he said, "Oh, you're Keen, aren't you?" And he said, "I watch your videos." And he's from Bangkok, Thailand, has lived in China, and he was over in the United States to, I won't go into all the details of why he was here. He does plan to go back to Bangkok sometime in the spring. And so we got talking there at Cheap Stacks about books, about Eastern Orthodoxy. He is Russian Orthodox, I think. And so, but when I turned around to talk, he had left. Anyway, to make a long story short, I left on when I showed the books from Cheap Stacks in a video, which you can find among my videos, I said, his name was Derek, I said, "If you're out there, contact me." Well, anyway, to make a long story short, he contacted me and we got together. I think it was last week. He came down from Grand Haven. He came here. It was last Saturday, about 1:30 in the afternoon, and we had lunch together, and we went through my library. He sells books online from Amazon, and that's why he was here, to go to book sales, to buy some books, to put more books online, because he gets income from those books, selling them from Amazon, and he was going to used book sales and thrift stores to stock up on used books to send to Amazon. They have a warehouse, and then they put them online, and he sells them. So I had 3 boxes of doubles in my car that I gave to Derek when he was here last Saturday. He was here, and we had dinner together too, and he was here for like 4 hours. We talked about books and about life and theology and spirituality, and it was really a good time. So yeah, so I've met 2 people from Booktube. Mike from Illinois, who sent me those books I got yesterday in the mail. Thank you. Then I met Derek, who's over in Bangkok, Thailand, who is into Russian Orthodox. So there's this video going around about why do people leave Booktube? I plan to leave Booktube. I've been here 10 years. And reason why is this very thing. I meet people. I know it was last year we had a couple stop by here who were from the South, and they watched my videos, and they were here. They were PCA, the same church my wife is a member of, the denomination, and we had they came over after church, and we had dinner together, and we had a good time. So one thing about Booktube I really like, and why I stay, is I can interact with people. And I've mentioned in my videos, if you're ever in this area, Holland, when I was volunteering at the Book Nook, I had people stop by, and so, because they had known that I was a volunteer at the Book Nook, the Holland Public Library, and they stopped by and talked to me. And that's one thing I like about Booktube, YouTube, that I can interact with other book lovers and people who are into all kinds of books. That's one thing about why I stay in Booktube too, why I don't leave. I've been in Booktube now for 10 years. I've learned so much about books, all kinds of books. And the Booktubers I watch are people into poetry, people who are into books in translation, people who are into they're into Eastern European literature, they're into biography, all kind. I've learned so much about books and comments and interaction, And as you know, people who watch my booktube, they also follow me and read my online blog, Crooked Fingers and LiveJournal. So there's always this interaction, and I really have expanded and grown and been enriched in my intellectual and spiritual life through Booktube and YouTube. And I watch YouTube a lot. I mean, I watch all kinds of stuff in YouTube and Booktube. Before I close, I've been here 20 minutes. I did go to I found these books. I had to go put gas in my car, and I stopped by Gateway Rescue Mission thrift store and found these books, and I thought I'd show them to you. I know I collect Penguin classics. This is Caesar, the Civil War, the Alexandrian War, the African War, the Spanish War, and other hands in the Penguin classics. I collect Richard Brannigan, and there's a picture of him. This is like published, I think, in 1975. The Willard and the Bowling Trophies, A Perverse Mystery. There's a picture of him. Hardback. I collect his writings. He's really an unusual writer. He's known for his novel, Brannigan, Trout Fishing in America, A Confederate General from the Big Sur, and Watermelon Sugar, The Abortion Historical Romance, 1966, Hawkline Monster, The Gothic Western. I don't have that one. I don't have the Hawkline Monster, A Gothic Western. I have other ones, but I picked that up at Gateway. This I never heard of. It's historical fiction. It's called The Missionary by Sidney Olson. And this was first published in... this reprint, 2002. This writer lived from 1783 and she died in 1859. It's The Missionary in an Indian Tale. They're from India. It's about colonialism. It's like historical fiction. Missions, Portuguese, India, history, fiction. Trying to find when it was first published. I don't see when it was first published, but anyway, I picked this up at the Gateway. And then I picked up a book I had cataloged in my library thing, but I couldn't find my copy. So my edition, so I kept it until I find my other copy. The Great Society, A New History by Abney Shells. And this is about the Great Society. Was between Nixon and the Lyndon B. Johnson. No, the Great Society. How do we get to be so great? Time and again, whether under John F. Kennedy, Lyndon Johnson, or Richard Nixon, the country who's the public sector. So basically what this is a political history of the time between Kennedy, Lyndon B. Johnson, and Nixon in American society, the Great Society. It's kind of like American political history. I have other books by her, or her, I think it's a her. Yeah, there's a picture of her. She is author of 4 New York bestsellers: The Forgotten Man, A New History of the Great Depression, The Forgotten Man graphic edition, Coolidge, which I have. She wrote a book called The Greedy Hand, How Taxes Drive Americans Crazy. a former member of the Wall Street Journal editorial board. Anyway, she writes for Financial Times, Bloomberg. So pick this up. Yeah, I like reading American political history. So that's why I got this. So those are the used books I picked up recently. I got books coming in the mail. And so yeah, my wife leaves tomorrow morning, 6:30. I'll be here by myself for 5 days, reading, writing, praying, seeking the Lord. So yeah, I really enjoyed that time with Derek when he came by here. Found out about how you sell books from Amazon and how you do it. I don't plan to do that, but I was always curious. How do people sell books from Amazon? How does it all work out? So it's kind of interesting. And also finding about Derek's spiritual life and his life in Bangkok. And then I was so blessed to get these two books from Mike in Illinois. Yeah, Mike, Kane County, Illinois. So yeah, he sent me this book. Thank you. Now I got my own ESV study Bible. I can put up here by my other Bible that I read when we have devotions and when I'm doing my Bible study. Yeah, I'm really enjoying reading The High Wind in Jamaica by Richard Hughes. Really enjoying reading the essays of William Hazlitt. Renewing my fascination with the Beats. Allen Ginsberg, William Burroughs, Jack Kerouac, Gary Snyder, San Francisco Renaissance poets, things like that. Always studying Christology, praying always for the Holy Spirit for illumination. Been blessed reading Dutch experimental Puritan theology from he lived, what time? Mastricht lived from 1630 to 1706. Really been blessed reading this. And I've been reading Thomas Goodwin for almost 48 years. So, yeah. So that's what I'm reading, writing in my diary, praying. Hope you're all doing well. Thank you for the comments. Like I said, I really like Booktube, YouTube for the interaction, finding, learning, and like I said, comment, free to ask me questions, and may the Lord bless. Until next time. And I'll probably do videos while Carol is gone in Denver visiting our daughter and her family. I'll probably do that and show you the new books I get in the mail. So until next time, bye.